Welcome to NBA Prospect Show, powered by EV Analytics. I'm John Metler. He's Adam Scherher. Adam, how's it going for you today on this Tuesday? NBA Cup quarterfinals, 2 games. How are you doing today?
Going pretty well. Feeling like you. I didn't have a lot to do yesterday, and so I told myself that I was going to rearrange my office and get a little bit of a backdrop behind me. And then I just saw myself on camera and realized that I did not do that and still just have nothing behind me.
You did that? Did you do that thing where you half started it? Like, when you start cleaning something out and you take everything apart, and then it's like you get halfway through and you're like, I'm over this.
Yeah, no, I didn't even get that far. I cleaned some in my apartment and then just stopped doing anything productive. Went back to gambling on the computer.
What's going to be the backdrop?
Probably just going to move either my. So I have I won the DraftKings MMA championship a couple years ago, and I have part of the mat from the Nunes Pena fight that I was at, framed. So I'll probably put that back there. I have a Sean Taylor jersey I want to put back there if it'll fit. So we'll see.
No Alex Sarr jerseys or Bub Carrington, or
do not have any Wizards jerseys.
You don't even have a Gilbert Arenas jersey?
Nah, I don't think I've gotten a basketball jersey since Tracy McGrady Rockets in middle school or high school, whenever that was.
I have a Gilbert Arenas jersey, which is kind of makes it funny. All right, so like Dell put on the screen here, we're 18-12 on the air, plus 7.15 units. Last week on Thursday, we went 2-1. Tijon Salon under assists. He left the game with an injury, but I don't think he was getting there anyways. And Nikola Jokic under threes made. Big one. We saved Abby from losing a unit there. She won one. And then Brandon Miller, that was the most unfortunate situation ever because he landed on 26. And how many times did we go back and forth because the market was moving on us 26.5, 25.5. And of course, he middles that number. I don't know. Did you see the shot that he got it on? It was just like a fadeaway three, just hucking it at the rim to end the third quarter. And then he didn't play any minutes after that.
No, I didn't see what it was. I knew that we got bailed out. If you had 26.5, we got bailed out by the blowout.
Yeah. But he was on 23 and there was literally 1 second left. They inbound it and he is a good 6 feet behind the 3-point line, fading away and just threw it. Not even a jump shot, and threw it and drained it. And that was 26. So it's always unfortunate when you get middled in those spots, but you're also, some people won, some people lost, but the goal is to win the long game, right? Yeah. So that's why we're talking about the 25.5 there. You always hate to see that. So, oh, there you go. Dell's showing it to us right there. I was like, why are we on Twitter? You can literally say it one more time because I didn't really click around there. This is not even a jump shot here. He's just
that's just
boom.
That's just throwing the ball at the basket.
Yeah, that was a tough one. So that's the loser. If you had 26.5, you won. If you had 25.5, you lost, unfortunately. But so the official record from last week is 2-1 on the year, 18-12 plus 7.15 units. And we got NBA Cup quarterfinals. Let's get into it. The release procedure. If you're new here, Adam's from EV Analytics. They have good projections. There's only 2 games today, so we'll tell you what games we're betting on, the prop market, the team, the player, and then we'll have Adam break it down using the projections from EV Analytics, just providing a little bit of context here. And like I said, it's NBA Cup quarterfinals, 2 games. We're looking at a lot of different books here. We got Bet365, BetMGM, FanDuel are the 3 bets. So if you want to open those up, and those are kind of the 3 that also have the best alternate prices on some of the other bets too. I see DraftKings written down here too as well. So fire up those apps. We'll go to the first bet. We're going to Bet365 here for the first one. And we're looking Oklahoma City Thunder, Dallas Mavericks. This is a great game. This matchup between these 2 teams, I think, is one of the better matchups going right now in the NBA. And we're looking at the threes made prop. And then we're looking for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. This has moved 10 cents on us. There's a plus. So the bet is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander under 1.5 threes made plus 145. We did have plus 155 before we came on here. I think there's a plus 148 at FanDuel. So if you see a better number, drop in the chat. Let everyone know. If you do see something better, we'll roll this right now. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander under 1.5 threes made plus 145. Adam, you want to break this one down?
Yeah, so I'll start with the caveat, and this is true for, I think, all of the bets today, definitely 2 of them. With this being an NBA Cup game, there is, there's an increased chance that you just see a lot of minutes from, your star players, which obviously includes Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. This is with a 35-minute projection. Certainly could play more for the season. He's averaging 34 minutes per game. Should be a fast-paced game, but Dallas has also been a good defense so far this year. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to get up threes. He's averaging about 6 threes per game this year, only shooting about 33% though, averaging 2 3-pointers per game. So really here, it's just about the price. And I think getting plus money on him not shooting above his season average from 3, basically, like he's probably going to get up 6, 7, 8 threes. And hopefully he just, shoots a little bit below, at or below, depending how many he gets up, his mark. Dallas overall this year has allowed, they're in the bottom 10 in 3-point attempts allowed to opponents. They are closer to middle of the pack in 3-point attempts allowed to guards specifically. So I do think SGA is still going to get his shots up, but really it's just getting plus money and hoping that SGA shoots, at or below his season average.
It's not even like this is plus 105, like plus 148. Yeah. That's a number. That's a big plus number. You're talking about, you're essentially winning not 2 units, but like, if you say you minus 110, you put a unit on it, you win 0.91, 1.48 coming back on this one. So just from like the basketball side of things, I know they're probably going to hit him with a lot of different defenders, but PJ Washington is obviously like a bigger kind of like forward who's long. That's not really someone you want to shoot 3-pointers over. I do remember last matchup because I was watching yesterday because there wasn't really much else to do yesterday for the NBA. There's not only the one game. They picked him up with Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford sometimes in transition. Like they picked him up. So again, that's not guys you're going to really stop and pop a 3-pointer on. Those are centers that you're trying to shoot over. So I do think there's kind of like those matchups where the Mavericks' better defenders are their big, tall, long guys. So there's a good chance that maybe even the 3-point attempts aren't as high as we would typically.
To your point, in the game he played against Dallas, 38 minutes, 1 3-point attempt.
Yeah, I watched yesterday. I didn't know for sure what the attempts were. I don't really remember him. I didn't really remember even shooting threes because even when he gets Kyrie, Luka, kind of those guys who aren't great defenders, he's going to go in the lane. He's going to go to the mid range. He's going to go try to get to the rim. So it's like who is he shooting 3-pointers on? It's like if it was say, a really small, fast, good defense, like a Jalen Suggs on him or someone, maybe then you start to see threes because he can't really break them down to the lane type thing. So I think it kind of plays into the hands of the Mavericks here, just on who they should use to guard him. So the first bet, scary one, but big plus price. We'll go. It's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander under 1.5 threes made plus 148. We'll move to the second bet here. We're going to bet MGM. Bobby says run his ass off the line with that length, 100%. That's exactly what we want to see. We want to see PJ Washington up in his face. We're staying Mavericks Thunder, and we're staying threes made, but we're going to bet MGM here. And the player we're looking for is Luka Doncic, and our number is there. And the next best is like Bet 365 FanDuel. It's pretty close, like 5 cents difference. We're going Luka Doncic under 3.5 threes made, even money. So once again, that's Luka Doncic under 3.5 threes made, even money. We do not want to see 3-pointers tonight. Adam, break this one down.
Yeah, I mean, another scary one. We have him projected for 37 minutes. It's obviously somewhat likely that he plays more than that, given that it's an NBA Cup game. He's averaging like 10 3-point attempts per game, shooting in the mid-30s. OKC, obviously a really good defense. I think this is a really interesting one to look at numbers-wise, and you might have something to add to it from a watching tape standpoint. But Oklahoma City, obviously really good defense, really good team overall. They're actually allowing the most 3-point attempts per game to opposing guards, but they've allowed the 4th lowest 3-point percentage to opposing guards, which generally 3-point percentage is pretty luck-driven as a stat, and it's something that, kind of tends to even out. But when you're talking about a team that's as well coached as Oklahoma City and as strong defensively as Oklahoma City, I don't think they're allowing guards to take a bunch of threes by accident. So the fact that they're getting those threes up, but they're not making a lot of them, makes me think that they probably are contesting them well, doing a good job, kind of forcing threes that maybe these teams don't want to take. So I don't, even though the attempts will probably be there, I don't view it as an advantageous matchup for Luka just to be getting open threes that, he's particularly likely to hit. I wish, the price were a little bit better, but plus 100 here on basically his season average in threes against a tough Oklahoma City opponent, I think looks pretty good.
So the basketball side of things, So Luka Doncic he doesn't like catch and shoot. Like he just not a fan of someone passing him the ball. He is very much a call his own number type of guy. And then so you wonder from, again, the OKC Thunder, like the matchups. So you've always had Dort. Dort can move his feet on the perimeter with him. But I think the big one here is this is why you make the trade for Alex Caruso. If Dort gets in foul trouble, well, here comes Alex Caruso, right? It's like, here's another defender. And like, this is your time to shine. This is why we traded for Alex Caruso. So in terms of like Doncic actually creating his own separation for his own, like, I'm going to call my own number 3-pointer. You're trying to do that against Lou Dort and Alex Caruso. That's even like Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams has a 7-foot wingspan, right? So it's, again, another, I would say it's scary, but the basketball matchups to me on both these really look like they play. Like there's just when you're looking at who's defending both of these players and how they might get to their shots. I like it. I like this one a lot. So the second bet, Luka Doncic under 3.5 threes made, even money. We'll go to the last one here. We're going to FanDuel. And we're going Magic Bucks. My poor Magic. Oblique injuries for everyone. No Paolo Banchero, no Franz Wagner. We're looking for the rebound market. And we're looking for Mo Wagner. And that's our number. So we're going Mo Wagner under 5.5 rebounds, minus 115. Once again, that's Mo Wagner under 5.5 rebounds, minus 115. There's a minus 115 at Bet365. And DK MGM are both minus 120. So minus 115 is your best price that we're seeing. Let us know if you see a better one. Adam, break this one down for us.
This one might actually scare me more than the other two because it's like completely minutes based. We have an 18-minute projection on Mo Wagner, which I think is very reasonable. Like if you go back and look at Oklahoma or Orlando's last game, the playing time for Wagner from a rotational standpoint isn't super appealing because he was just the straight backup to Goga, despite Jonathan Isaac not playing in that game and Franz Wagner not playing in that game. There are all these minutes available at the 4, and they still didn't use Mo Wagner there. So he was just a straight backup to Goga. They basically combined to play 48 minutes. And Mo Wagner will have games that he just ends up playing more minutes or as many minutes as Goga as the center. So there is still that volatility there. But if they're not going to give him minutes at the 4, it makes him more vulnerable to these, 16, 17, 18-minute games where it's going to be tough for him to go over 5.5 rebounds. But you do have a different matchup here against Milwaukee where maybe they're a little bit more likely to play Mo Wagner alongside Goga. But also in that Phoenix game, the last game, Wendell Carter Jr. only played 21 minutes too. So it was a game where like they really could have given Mo Wagner more minutes if they were so inclined. So I don't know that they're going to go that route today, even in the different matchup. So you're basically just, hoping that Goga doesn't get in foul trouble. Goga plays reasonably well. You do have the fact that Wagner's actually been a good player this year working against you if you bet the under here, because it just makes it a little bit more likely he can find his way into more minutes. But with an 18-minute projection, it looks good. If you were to get to 20 minutes or so, you're probably still fine. Obviously that there is volatility included in that 18 minutes. So, we're basically, I think, looking to avoid, in addition to just him running hot on rebounds, looking to avoid a rotational change from Orlando where they do play him minutes alongside Goga, which they haven't been doing. And then also just the game where Goga plays 21 minutes and Wagner plays 27. You're probably, in trouble if you get that one.
As our resident Magic fan, Jamal Mosley is very, like, when a player gets injured, you would think say when Wendell Carter Jr. got injured, you would think Mo Wagner would step in and start. That's not how he does it. He likes to keep guys in certain roles, and it doesn't matter. He wants Cole Anthony playing, say, his 15 minutes off the bench. He wants Mo Wagner being that sixth man, the 18 to 20 minutes. He doesn't really change off injuries. Like when Paolo Banchero went out, they started starting Tristan da Silva, a rookie, and Tristan da Silva wasn't even playing before that. And they did it last year too, where you're like, oh, Cole Anthony's going to start because Jalen Suggs is hurt. No, we're going right to Caleb Houston or someone. So. Yep. Jamal Mosley, he has certain roles for certain players, and he keeps them in those roles. And the Magic props I found very interesting this morning because you're trying to figure out who's going to score, right? Like who's going to see elevated, minutes and production with Wagner and Banchero out. And I think the question to me when I watch them, I think it's just going to be slightly everyone. That's kind of like the thing. I don't think you're just going to go to one guy. And you just saw even last game, he started pulling. Caleb Houston was one of the first subs. Jet Howard's getting into the game. So he's just going to go deeper down his bench. He's not going to play guys more minutes. He's not That's just not how Jamal Mosley is. It's not Tom Thibodeau where it's like someone's out, you're 48 tonight.
Right.
That's not how he rolls. So I feel like you're probably pretty safe with Mo Wagner. I think 20 minutes is kind of like his max, where that's what they feel comfortable playing him at. So
yeah, I mean, he's played a total of 8 minutes alongside Goga all season long. So it really, the most likely way that you lose here, outside of, again, just him rebounding at a ridiculous clip in 18 minutes, is just either Goga gets in foul trouble or Wagner plays really well. They want him out there, drawing charges against Giannis, annoying Giannis, and he just plays ahead of Goga. Like, that is live to happen, but we haven't really seen anything to suggest that they're going to play a lot of Wagner alongside Goga, which would be his easiest path to playing more minutes.
Yeah, I think it's more likely you'll see, because they need an offense, I think it's more likely you'll see like a Caleb Houston, like they're going Carter, Goga, and then if, say, they just go with one of the two bigs, it'll be like a Caleb Houston, Jet Howard, a shooter. They need shooting, so they're an interesting basketball team, because with today's basketball, it's 120 points, whatever. They're like, we're not going to score 100, but you're not going to score 90. That's kind of like their thing. So it's interesting. So the last bet, Mo Wagner under 5.5 rebounds, minus 115. So our 3 bets today: SGA under 3s made, Luka Doncic under 3s made, and Mo Wagner under 5.5 rebounds. I was just reading this question here in the chat. It says, hey guys, just signed up for EV NBA projections. My plan's a bit higher volume, maybe all the 5 stars. Are there any thresholds or suggestions you implement when using the projections? Want to touch on that for a second?
Yeah, I mean, I pay attention to the 5 stars, obviously the ones that project the best. Also, I try and use my NBA knowledge, make sure, I double check the inputs and everything, make sure, I am on the same page as those. But yeah, I mean, as far as anything else, it's the typical, bet within your bankroll. Like, don't, you're going to have losing streaks no matter what you're using. So build that in, don't put yourself in a position where you run out of money on your first downswing. But, other than that, I think it's just, I wouldn't like blindly bet all of them. I would, stick toward the top with the 5 stars, like you said. But also, if you are somebody that follows NBA, keep an eye on what you're betting. But in general, the 5 stars are going to look good for you. And if you did blindly bet them, I think you're going to end up being fine. But I do kind of curate a little bit as well.
Yeah, apply some basketball knowledge. Like you said, make sure you're playing a unit size where you can comfortably go on a losing streak and still be fine, and keep betting that same unit size. You're thinking about the long game here. It's not about days, weeks, even months. It's about years, right? So when it comes to sports betting, so great advice. Adam, you want to let the people know where they can follow you and get more information like that?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at ShipMyMoneyDFS. Also, if you're into NBA DFS, I do NBA DFS shows on the Endgame Syndicate YouTube channel. I will be doing one today for the 2-game slate, and every day during the week that there is more than 1 game. So check that out too.
All right, so we're SGA, Doncic, Wagner. This is we'll be back Thursday, 10:30 a.m. This concludes the NBA Prop Pick Show, powered by EV Analytics. See you guys on Thursday. Good luck with your bets. Del?